this is for Jesse Cloth. Shout out, Verbs Vegas. I was wanting to tell you about this quote from Hunter S. Thompson, The Great Shark Hunt. Okay, so what did Hunter S. Thompson, The Great Shark Hunt, what did he have to say? He said this: in retrospect, the grisly violence of the Manson angel trips affected very few people directly, while the greedy, fascistic incompetence of Richard Nixon's presidency will leave scars on the minds and lives of a whole generation, his supporters and political allies, no less than his opponents. Maybe that's why the end of this incredible, frantic year feels so hollow. Looking back on the 60s, even back to the 50s, the fact of President Nixon and everything that has happened to him and to us seems so clearly fated and inevitable that it is hard to reflect on those years and seeing them unfold in any other way. One of the strangest things about these 5 downhill years of the Nixon presidency is that despite all the savage excesses committed by the people he chose to run the country, no real opposition or a realistic alternative to Richard Nixon's cheap and mean-hearted view of the American dream has ever developed. It's almost as if that sour 1968 election rang down the curtain on career politicians. And this is the horror of American politics today, Jesse. Not that Richard Nixon and his fixers have been crippled, convicted, indicted, disgraced, and even jailed, but that the only available alternatives are not much better. The same dim collection of burned-out hacks who have been fouling our air with their gibberish for the last 20 years. Oh, how long? How long, oh Lord, how long? And how much longer will we have to wait before some high-powered shark with a fistful of answers will finally bring us face to face with the ugly question that is already so close to the surface in this country that sooner or later even politicians will have to cope with it? Is the democracy worth all the risk and problems that necessarily go with it? Or would we all be happier by admitting that the whole thing was a lark from the start, and now that it hasn't worked out, to hell with it? No oppositions. There's no opposition to Richard Nixon. So what's worse? The shit, that you got this fascistic, savage excesses, this, crook, this criminal, and there was no opposition. I mean, there's George McGovern, so there was opposition, just the American people wasn't ready to embrace the opposition. And he said the 68 curtain. So that was Hubert Humphrey. Yeah, fuck those career politicians, absolutely. Hubert Humphrey. Go back and look at Hubert Humphrey's speeches. They look so stupid. They look so dumb. Like, what are you trying? This is in 74. So he says, nobody, so maybe he was bitter that McGovern had just lost 2 years after. So anyways, The Great Shark Hunt. I also have Generation of Swine. And then I just got the Fear and Loathing on the Campaign Trail in 72. So, fun times. It'd be exciting. I don't know what you think about that, and I don't know if he's going to hear this or not. So, if you see Jesse Cloth, just, tell him I said hey. And if you got, a camera phone, just show him this video. Okay.